guys, it's Brittany, and you know what? Sometimes I wish that life and dating was like a cartoon. You know what I'm saying, Clarence? Yeah, pound it. What? In case you missed it, I talked about Clarence in my last vlog. He has a new show on Cartoon Network, and clip the roll.
The burgers here are good, the chicken nuggets are good, the fries are good, and the soda pop is really good.
I only like the fries here.
What? You don't like the burgers?
No.
What about the nuggets?
Nope.
Not even the burgers?
No.
What about the fun dungeon?
The first episode is really funny, and I don't laugh easily. Actually, I do, but it's still really funny. Cartoon Network is letting you watch the first episode for free right here on YouTube. Series preview. Oh, click on Clarence's face. All new episodes of Clarence on Mondays at 7, 6 Central on Cartoon Network. But life isn't a cartoon, and I've been on some really bad dates. The first date I want to talk about was a hiking date. And I agreed to go out on a hike with this former male model, and he was tall and gorgeous and seemed super nice, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll go on a hike with you. So we meet up, and things are going really fine for like the first hour of the date. And then I think I asked him a bit about his family and like where he grew up. Well, come to find out, like he was raised in a cult. So his dad is some sort of like bigwig like cult leader, and they live on a compound somewhere in the US, and there's like 500 people. So he hadn't been outside of the compound before he was 18 and only had socialized with the other 500 people or whatever that are in this compound. And I was like, okay, interesting. Well, also he's on the NSA do not watch, like the watch list. So he can't leave the US. So like the government like watches him at every turn because of him being in the cult. And I was still like, okay, I get it. Like everyone has crazy families. That's fine. So then when he left the cult, he got scouted and he ended up being a model in New York, and he did a bunch of big campaigns. And then he was like, oh, F it, I was totally over it, so I just went to Hawaii. So then he went to Hawaii, and he has like an adopted family there, and he said that he like smoked, is it called peyote or some sort of like just basically like, I think he just basically got high and like, lived in a sweat tent for 2 years. I was like, okay, cool. Still, creeping me out a little bit. Probably we're not going to be right for each other. So at the end of the date, I was like, I think he asked us like, oh, what are you doing now? And I'm like, oh, I have so much editing to do. I need to go home. Thank you so much. Like that kind of thing. Well, I had, during the date, had gotten his last name out of him. So I decided to go look him up on Facebook. He has a girlfriend. So not only did I go through this like 2-hour weird hike with this gorgeous person who was so strange, but he has a girlfriend. Who does that? I was just not a good day. Wardrobe change, huh? This vlog is gonna have 2 different outfits, whatever. I'm heading to another shoot and I accidentally deleted a clip. So I wanted you to have the second story. So the second date that was really, really bad, it was worse than the first. Was also with a male model. I think I've learned my lesson. So he decides that we're gonna go out to dinner, and I was like, okay, cool. And I agreed to go out with him because he's tall and really cute, and he modeled for like 10 years, and he has like houses all over the world. Who cares? I am not a person that's motivated by money whatsoever, because you can't take it with you. And I feel like people's like work ethic, I was just thinking, oh, he's worked hard and he's smart, is all I was thinking. So I was like, okay. So he comes to pick me up for the date, and his hair is super greasy. Like he obviously hadn't washed his hair in quite a few days, and I'm sorry, hygiene is really important to me, and it was like greasy. And then the whole date he just keeps trying to touch me, and I'm like, what are you doing? I kind of like knew probably early on in the date what he wanted. He just probably wanted to sleep with me, which is boys. Because he was talking about like the Google cars that are coming out that drive themselves. He's like, oh, we could get frisky in the back seat. And he kept like putting his hand on my lower back. And then at dinner, he asked for my hands, and I was like, okay. So I handed him my hands, and he's like, this, if you have a ring on this finger, it means Aphrodite, and you're very romantic. And if you have rings on your pointer fingers, it's because of Zeus, and it means that you like to be in control, and like all these things. I was like, what? I was like, the ring only fit on this finger, and I got it at the flea market. I didn't buy it because this is like my power finger. You know what I mean? What are you talking about? So I was just really excited to go home. So after the dinner date, he drives me to his car. I mean, we get in his car and he drives me to my car. And I go get out of the car, and he's like, that to his cheek, and I'm like, what? He's like, don't I deserve a kiss? And he's like, I was like, no. And he's like, no. And I'm like, no. And I got out of the car and I like ran over to my car and like got in and locked it and drove away and then blocked his number. It's just so strange because I knew that like this, he probably would have been like, oh God. And I mean, if I wanted to kiss him on the cheek, I would have done it. You don't like ask someone to do it. You know what I mean? I don't know. It was just a really, really bad date. Like I came home and I just wanted to take a shower and I felt slimy. And my most recent bad date wasn't really even that bad of a date. It would have been better if my date, okay, I'll explain. Tall, super cute, super nice. We decided to go to church. So we get to church and he just had really bad breath. And I kept trying to give him a mint. Like, here, you know, take a mint. And he wouldn't take a mint. And he was like, nope, I'm good. And I'm like, but you need it. Your breath is so bad. And he kept trying to talk to me and I'm like, oh God, it was really, oh, so bad. So yeah, that, you know, that probably didn't work out. What is a really good date or a really bad date that you've been on? And I hope you enjoyed Brittany's story time and that my pain made you laugh. And I love you guys so much. And more vlogs coming soon. And boo, mwah, I'm so attractive.